Welcome to the Coach Business Podcast. I'm your host, Caryn Gillen, and today we have guest Diana Murphy, who is here to school us from her perspective and ownership on how to niche well, powerfully, and beautifully, even after all this time.
Yeah.
Diana, how long have you been coaching?
11 years.
Okay, I was like, it might be longer than me, but I've been here 15
Yeah,
and you've been
you
here
were,
11. Okay.
yeah, 11.
Yeah, but you've been helping humans with change work for longer than that.
Yeah, because when I was at the Gallup organization, one of the things that I really, really loved was counseling people with their strength profile and understanding why they were suited for one role or another. And I loved being in those conversations where
Yeah.
I help people to really operate from, their strengths or from like their knowing. Yeah.
Alignment, power.
Alignment. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
you've been doing this for a long time. You've been a coach for years, decades.
Years, decades.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't
Officially in
you,
business for 11.
yeah, why don't you tell people who you help, your quick little intro,
So
however you want to say it.
and you helped me craft this, and it's been very exciting to talk about my tagline. I work with really high capacity leaders. I work with business owners. I work with entrepreneurs. I work with those that are really doing a lot of big work, high capacity work in the
Mm-hmm.
world. And it may be a solo practice, it may be a private business, it may be an entrepreneur that owns three businesses. But it's the same man or woman or person
Mm-hmm.
that I come in when shift hits the fan. So this is my new tagline, and you help
Mm-hmm.
me get to people come to me when shit hits the fan. I am a great ER coach for people that are very thrown off when a life circumstance has really rocked them. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's when circumstances happen to them, a death in the family, a divorce, really, or troubling health diagnosis of their own. And they have this role that they need to fulfill and they still need to operate in. And so it's navigating that situation and getting really back in their confidence again and
Mm-hmm.
really designing a life that honors what's happening in real. But I
Yeah.
also work with people that choose to be where it feels like shit is hitting the fan, where they are choosing a big new role or a big pivot, or they're leaving corporate and they are rocked. They don't
Right.
understand why they're in high stress. They don't understand why they're procrastinating. And so I help people get their kind of leadership wheels, get in their lane in a really powerful way, no matter what is happening.
Yeah. I think one of the cool like reflections for me on this work for you is you are a high intensity person. Like you can handle that.
Yeah.
And these are high intensity clients at high
Yes.
intensity points in time.
Yeah.
So,
I just magically love the space of neutralizing how these circumstances get us all really super jacked up. And I
mhm,
have a really large capacity to handle hard emotions, really big things and create enough safety for that leader to get access to their wisdom. And that
yeah,
is such an honor.
right. It really is. I mean, those people don't have a lot of places to go. So the
No.
fact that they can come to you is a gift. And so, like, if anybody's listening and you're like, I know one of these people who the shit is going to hit the fan for them and they don't have anyone, like, because a lot of these people go home and they can't complain about their life to their partner because their partner relies on them for the income, or, there's a lot
Yeah.
of reasons they can't share this stuff. So the fact that
Yeah.
you exist is really important for our leaders who are shaping our
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
Mm,
you and I had the great pleasure of having a retreat here in my home
yes.
a few months ago now.
Yeah.
And what the retreat was amazing for me to get to do because we got to dive in and it just got to like flow in and out of what it needed to be. But the best part was that a couple weeks later, 6 weeks later, these messages just kept trickling back to me about how you had taken it and like used it to make everything kind of make your life work better. And so
Ah.
for me, it was like there's this after effect. In the afterglow, you had all this post transformation that I think led to so much clarity for you. So I would love for you to just share a little bit about that.
So I loved two things. One, me giving myself permission to be the only guest at your retreat. Like,
You know,
this was one that was planned for a group. I love the groups that you love bringing in. And one of the things that you always taught me when you were my coach as I was forming my boutique practice and not scaling, that was the reason that you and
mm-hmm.
I came together. It was so awesome to drop in and honor like what really needed to happen to create again another level of this work. And for us to not, like for again, permission to spoil myself in that way, to
Mm-hmm.
watch you not make it mean anything that you didn't feel like promoting it more to bring more people in. And
Yep.
for us to just honor that moment. And you and I have history, like we were a 2025 engagement, COVID. I was
Mm-hmm.
going to start my engagement with you as in a retreat setting, and I couldn't
Yeah.
wait. And we had to postponed it five
Yeah.
years.
We had
Oh,
canceled
fun.
canceled
Yeah.
plane tickets. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was that was my real trip that was a real sign of what we were in. And so for me, it was such a beautiful full circle
Mm-hmm.
and also a place where I have gotten to so much confidence in being in transformation that I can just be very present and not have any attachment to how something could go. But I knew being in the room with you was going to help me deepen and make really get some legs to what
Mm-hmm.
I was starting to sense in some deeper work that I was doing around thought
Yeah.
work, my thought work, my
And
thought leadership.
I think what's really interesting, like I have my husband out of town and my daughter out of town this weekend. And what I'm going to do with myself is niche work. I've been in business for 15 years and that's what I'm going to do. And what you did here, 10 years, 11 years into your practice was essentially we did niche work,
Yeah.
customer experience, client journey. Like, who is this person? Where is
Yeah.
the most power for you? So I love that we let ourselves do it.
And
And
you're
it was
giving
so,
yourself permission to do it too.
and it
Yeah.
was so uncomfortable for you.
It was.
I
Because
didn't
I
even really
also
notice.
had, oh my God, like we were unpacking, and unpacking is really rough. Because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what is she going to find under the hood? What is
Mm-hmm.
this great coach that got me, like, really, the seeds of our work is why I am feeling so much permission to do what I really want in the world. But I also know that I need help communicating what that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was like, you give me words, and it's like, oh, I see it. And I have a framework, I have a way of talking about myself that's really getting people's attention in the way that we most need is that
Mm-hmm.
oh, there is someone that does that. I need that. My friend needs that. Like it's just them knowing what they will get, that there is that coach for me in the world.
Right. Yeah. I think one of the things I'm noticing about my own practice is that there are a lot of people who come to me who have already been successful or who already kind of have their niche, have their podcast, have all their stuff going. And then they come in and then we find the real niche.
Yeah.
So I just continue to find this really interesting. And I don't know, it's probably similar to what you're talking about when people come in and then they feel safe to like
Yeah.
drop all of the things they're holding and be like,
Yeah.
what if I really could be exactly who I am?
And we had done, I was so aware of honoring how far I'd come with the way that you and I worked. And when I developed and really doubled down on having a one on one practice, long term engagements, that I knew I could trust that you knew that part of me and wasn't going to like convince me to do my
Right.
practice in another way. So I could safely let you look all under the hood, knowing who, like what I'm about. And then I knew you would tie it all together. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew you would integrate all these other things. And I love our to-do list after. Like you think of how most retreats are, you have a massive action plan.
Oh, yeah.
And ours
I
was, and I
wanted
knew
your
this all
action plan.
along. Yeah, it's like embodiment. Oh, Oh, really? Because that's been on my mind a lot. And you,
Yeah.
like, we sync that during the retreat. And since we had that retreat, I am totally all in a yoga studio. 20 sessions in 30 days. Like, just my body was like, yes, please.
Hmm.
But it also was, I need to I like really need to slow down. I do have a
Hmm.
high capacity. I do get in very high energy and can do a lot. That isn't what's serving my clients or me
Yeah.
in my life. It was really slowing down and honoring my call to be more embodied with what I believed in my work and
Hmm.
not just do another thing.
Yeah. So
I,
I mean, you left here with the homework to do more yoga
yeah,
consistently and to do more consistent body work, massage, to buy a car,
did that.
did that, and to get more consistency with the house cleaner, right?
Yeah.
So
And
think it.
immediately did those things. And then yet like this week, I just came out of a really bad week-long virus. I changed travel. Like I'm finally feeling myself like myself.
Good.
And so my movement was cleaning my house this time. Like this
Hmm.
time I knew it was like that was life-giving to me.
Yeah.
But the slowing down and knowing that when I take care of myself physically at a level that is different and new for me, that it was going to create the container that was all the things I'm wanting in my personal life, but also really in my business. And it's all
Yeah.
happening.
Right. And it's about like if we think about holding space for other people, and here Diana is holding space for people at really pivotal, changing, disruptive points in their life while they have really powerful impact going on at work. So if you're going to hold that space, you also have to think about how do I care for myself in a way that I can show up
Yeah.
day in and day out, be present, be cared for. And I think when people talk about how do I price my offer, this is the kind of stuff I'm thinking about. I'm like, you are not just sitting in a room with someone for 1 hour. Like, how are you taking care of yourself? How are you
Yeah.
staying up reading? Like whatever literature that you need to read to be at the top of your game as a coach
Yeah.
in your part of the
Yeah.
field. How are you taking care of your body so you can be here when your people need you to be here? And like this is
Yeah.
all a part of it.
It is. It is. And I am thankful that some of the early people I did work with, one of them is Mark Butler, where like he saw very clearly that I was always going to be investing 10 to 20K a year on coaching.
Mm-hmm.
That was just always going to
Just
be,
plan for it.
that is just planned for it. And I no longer question my yeses, my hell yeses when I come across somebody to work with. And I did the big deep dive with you. I've done a big day with Trudy LeBron. Like I've done
Mm-hmm.
some spaces where that is my way of doing business. I don't need 17 certifications. I need to
Mm-hmm.
really be coached well in the spaces that I'm expanding and growing to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
I am really. And then again, I'm tying in the body work, which was really new for me.
Yeah. And here's just something I want to point out for anybody listening who's like a pretty high capacity person or a high capacity coach. We are going to go into spaces and people are going to think we are fine and they are not going to coach us because they're like, you're good. You sound calm. You look good. You've got your offers dialed in. Like for me, it's hard to get someone to actually hook in and get it. So it's like when you find your people who can really do it, stick with
Yeah.
them and like make sure that you have that experience because those of us with high capacity will get missed because we're
Yes.
not.
That's so interesting. And I think that that's what's also happening to my clients.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Everyone
Like
thinks
that's
they're
what you're
fine
seeing
because they're
that
making enough
parallel
money.
because life looks really good from the outside and they do not have because of the way they lead in their family or because like I work with owners that sell in the journey of selling their businesses, there is a lot of privacy that is actually required in those
Yeah.
journeys and those they do look like they're doing great from the outside or handling a
Hmm.
lot. And that is where I think learning for each of us individually as coaches, as humans that are listening to this call, is getting resourced in a way that almost feels luxurious
Yes.
is
The
almost
job.
like the baseline. That's one thing I learned walking away from the retreat. I'm still thinking about if I want a hot tub. I'm still thinking, we talked about that. And
Yeah.
I'm still like, I bought the car. I didn't hold off. And I rolled right into what I knew was supportive of the way of being and the way of believing in my life
Mhm.
that was important. And I
Yeah.
think we really there's no over resource when it comes to coaching, body work, support, and really an emotional well-being, which is now a phase in my business that I'm really digging deep into as well.
Yeah. I want to hear about
Mm.
what it's been like for you to, at this kind of deeper level or new level, really honor who you are and what you do. Because that's what niching is, right? It's like, I'm going to be
Yeah.
the most truthful about what I love.
It's so like I used to be sheepish until our retreat about sharing that I love working with clients that are somewhat need the ER of coaching.
Hmm.
And because a lot will tell you, oh, you should be marketing to before they get to that point. And I'm like, you gave me permission to understand that most of the high capacity, high ego people would not search out a coach until it was that bad because of
Right.
their capacity.
Right.
And as they learn and enjoy having the support of a coach, that shifts. That's the beauty of long-term work with me is that you start learning to be resourced in a gentler way and get more support. But the niching for me I walked into a networking where someone didn't know me and I had 1 minute because it was compressed time. And I said, I am the coach that works with leaders, business owners, etc. When shift hits the fan. And he started laughing. He loved it. I went on the call. They all knew what I meant.
Hmm.
And the being able to honor and own it has given me more confidence about how I talk about my work when people ask.
Right. It was
And
interesting too,
that's
because
different.
yeah, we just kept talking about what you love to do and like where you were the most powerful.
Yeah.
And like anyone who's telling you, oh, you should market before shit hits the fan. No, because where you actually like to work is when you can
Like,
like get into the pile of shift with them and
absolutely.
muck around and
Yeah.
turn it into a whole bunch of meaning. And like,
Yes.
what a powerful place to meet people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sacred space. It's a very vulnerable space. And for people that are used to everything going well and having a
Mm.
lot of control in their lives, when there's a space that they are not feeling that, it's so disorienting. And when we slow down and start working together, it isn't long before they get their legs back. That's what people need to hear, that it honoring that space and just remembering that they do know what's best going forward. It's just a really disorienting time. And
Yeah.
that is the beauty of holding space for that type of leader
Yeah.
and creating that type of container on purpose.
Right. And letting yourself be exactly where you want to be and not
Yeah.
judge it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for some of us, it's like, I can't work with
Oh,
people in
no.
that space. Like, I need to
No.
work with people who are in the intentional, proactive space.
Yeah.
And you get to go and do that. That's not Diana's mission.
No.
Yeah.
No, and I've had people, it's like, wait, you like working with people longer than like 6 months or like 6 weeks or,
Yeah.
and I, I'm like, yeah, I love
Mm-hmm.
it. And, but yet my clients and I all know when there's closure, we set intentions about what those
Mm-hmm.
containers are like. There's flexibility there. But I had a woman hire me this year that I had made some assumptions about how much she could invest because she had just invested in another coach and for a totally different reason but in a line with this big shift she was making. And I've had two women tell me this year that they are thankful that I offered a year because they knew, like, can you handle this? Like, this is more than a 3 month series. Like,
They
are
were worried
you
about you.
able to? Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, they could see the slowing down and not having
Mm.
this intentional, like, let's fix something, like there's something to be fixed in 3 months. It was like, no, they were very aware of a deep shift, that the transformation that they were making and creating, one
That's
healing
cool.
from a broken relationship and one creating a new entrepreneurship. And they both were so relieved that it's like, oh, really? Like, you're
Yeah.
willing to be in it that long with me, and you are willing to help me slow down so I can feel at peace and kind of do all this thing that I think I can do in a year. I can in 3 months, that
Yeah.
you're going to give me time.
How
So
amazing.
slowing down time is awesome.
Yeah. But what cool like levels of awareness that they have that they're like, this
Yeah.
isn't a quick thing.
Yeah.
And I want to like it's interesting that they're having the experience of that you're having too of like, I want to be cared for in this.
Yeah.
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 That's awesome. It usually lines up like that.
Yeah, it does. We
Yeah.
attract like I had a client that I'm shifting our work a little bit. We're going a little deeper in the emotional work. And I've worked with her for over a year and a half. And she was very clear that she came to me because she saw the calmness. She experienced the
Mm,
calmness and the safety in the room. And now she know it's like, now I'm offering her this new way, and I know she wants it and is ready for it. But it's so fascinating how that does work with coaches. Or we also know when we need to release clients because they are like, where we're at and where our transformation is like, I'm pushing now. Like, no,
mm-hmm,
no, this isn't the right place. So it's awesome to have a nuanced insight of what your client really needs, and
mm-hmm.
not push the agenda, but keep inviting them into that next level, that next
Yeah.
awareness. And that's the beauty of me working with the same type of mindset and energy of human since the very beginning. I've always
Yeah.
worked with very top, high achieving, high capacity, very value driven
Right.
people. And so I've done my work. Like, that's what's so fun is I've studied them for so long. They feel known when they
Mm-hmm.
come in the door. And that's
Yeah.
really that's like the beauty of us studying it for a little bit together. I'm like, oh, I've really done this. I
Mm-hmm.
really know what I'm
Yeah.
doing in this space.
Right.
And I encourage coaches to study their own, like, what is really lighting you up in a consistent way, and what do you know a lot about, and what type of, role and space, because it can be such a huge contribution to their clients.
Well, and that was my next question is like, because you've taken this 11-year journey and you've had probably at least kind of four, maybe more iterations on
Yeah,
how
I would
you
say
work with these
good
people.
4. Yeah, a healthy 4.
Yeah. What advice do you have for people from right here where you are, where you're in so much ownership of this is who I am, this is where I help, this is what I'm here for, I'm okay being who I am, and I'm going to work with these people, period. Like, do you have for the folks who maybe haven't gotten to work with very many people yet? They might have an
Yeah,
idea about their niche, but what do you think they need to
because
hear
I
from
was
you?
there too. Yes,
Right. Yeah.
giving yourself full permission for that comes from a internal space, a knowing of the type of work you want to be up to, and creating offers and a container that honors that. So, all of us are invited to do group work or to do this or this idea or a podcast or whatever, and honoring the way that you want to bring your ideas to the world and the way you want to bring coaching to the world. Honor that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's me giving myself permission, even now, that the outside, almost that I internalized all the ways you should be in a business.
Right.
And I'm now questioning, I'm letting myself question having a newsletter. I'm
Yeah.
letting myself question my podcast. I may put it to sleep, to rest. I know that when I get a great idea, I have a lot of energy for it and I can create it again.
Yeah.
But it's the permission slip of doing it your way. And when I hear clients do that, you mean, and I remember this conversation with you, you mean
Mm-hmm.
I can do it my way? And
Mm-hmm.
you're like, yeah, there really is no other way. And what would it look like, Diana? I'll never forget this conversation. Instead of trying to sell a group mastermind. And I love group work. I love group coaching, but I don't, that isn't my marketing energy or my way of being in the sacred space. The type of things my clients need to talk about is not always conducive for group work. And you said, yeah, I just see your business as this powerful locomotive that as it keeps gaining steam, that like that's the growth. And
Mhm.
that is really what's happened for me. And it came from giving myself permission to do it in the way I wanted.
Yeah. I remember that moment too. I remember where I was standing in my office.
Oh my God.
It's funny.
I so remember that was that flipped the switch on for me to
Yeah.
start learning what I had to let go of and then step into. And I
Yeah.
still have that mental challenge. It's like, why don't you have a
Mm.
newsletter out today? And I forced one and rewrote it this morning at 5:30.
Hmm.
And it
And
felt
I
better.
think that idea of like you are this locomotive, like that is a big, heavy, dense,
Mm,
intense piece of machinery that you can't stop quickly,
can't stop it.
right? And I think like there are so many people in the online space that are like light and easy and sell quick. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have this whole different energy. And like for you to do that would be so weird.
It would be so weird.
Yeah. And
I've tried
it's
to
so
do the light
unfulfilling.
offers and I'm like, I've even stopped doing one-offs because it's like this isn't what I'm really about. I will have engaging conversations with you until you're ready to hire me. I'm very
Yeah.
generous with my time and exposure, but really knowing that my contribution in the world is being in a one-on-one conversation and guiding leaders back to their miracle genius selves.
Yeah.
Like,
And
yeah.
I want you to share with people how you're nurturing your community and your potential future
Mm.
clients or your referral network. Cause I think it's such a fun example to see.
So I learned really quickly that I love being in networking spaces, and I always thought that I had to be in leadership to get the access and energy, so I wore myself out with a lot of volunteer positions while I was also building my business. So that's a little bit of a warning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I always knew I loved gathering people. And so from the very beginning, I did workshops where I ticketed it and had people come in the room. And me doubling down on that in the way I want to now is showing up as intimate dinners where people get to experience my energy, but more they get to experience their energy because we talk about their vision and vision casting, but we also talk about what's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they get support from other leaders at that table. There's 6 of us total. And that has been my new engine.
Yeah. I
And
love
that is like
this.
they're all getting to know each other. I reinvite them back in. And then I have breakfast events and I have workshops
And they can like
online.
invite a friend if they want
Yes.
to, right? Yeah. So she's like creating relationships with local businesses, which is so cool. And like, we're going to get a table. There'll be 8 seats. You can come to dinner. It's $50. You can bring a friend. And then we're just going to be together. And then you prompt the table to have
Yeah.
deep connection, conversations that matter, and for everyone just to be seen and supported. I
Yeah.
like this is such a beautiful way to do it.
And it's a craving of more
Yeah.
like just like how we started our call. The reason there is so much loneliness and lack of community, it got so disrupted by COVID. Um, I think some were able to heal and decide and re-engage in a way that was very
Mm-hmm.
life-giving, but I do think that there's still for solo owners, especially those that are also parents or taking care of aging parents, or
Mm-hmm.
there is not a lot of bandwidth for their own personal time to engage. And I love
Yeah.
providing that opportunity. It's like a
Yeah.
great reminder.
Yeah. And that is an event that you do just because you're nurturing your
Yeah.
community. It's not like it's a moneymaker for you.
Not, yeah.
But yet, in the long game, what does
Yeah.
it create? Like, since our retreat, what kind of cool, like, clients have come in, or what have you felt
So
like as a result of that?
from those events and from that energy of showing up in that way, um, I am having conversations with people that I never thought would consider
Ooh.
coaching. And it's like, oh no, we need to have lunch. I
So
didn't,
impressive
there are
clients.
people that I did not think would say yes to my invitations.
Uh-huh.
And so I am getting,
You've got real deal energy. She's the
Yeah.
real deal. Yeah.
But it's, and then I needed to bring in 5 new clients for my new practicum very quickly. And they all came from those organic conversations before and after the dinner. And they were all dinner folk. Like they all were
Love it.
people that I had been drawing in that more intimate way. And they're people I'm
Hmm.
having coffee with. And they're like, I am sometimes friends of people that then choose to work with
Hmm.
me, or I work
Yeah.
with people and then they're friends. Not
Yeah.
always, but that is also a way I don't get afraid. I think there are some coaches that are like, oh, I need to keep a boundary there. And for some practices, that is the healthy way. And for me, it's a place of them really understanding the safety that I can provide for them to really open up.
Yeah.
And
Well, and
so,
you're all leaders and you're all entrepreneurs. Like
yeah,
you are among them and one of them.
yes, yes. And
Yeah.
honoring that growth, like a really,
Hmm.
not like, oh, I'd love for them to be a client. It's like, oh, but they're above like that, like
No
ego.
pedestals.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I had a lot of healing to do with that. Got kind of in the years that you and I were working together, like, and
Hmm.
really owning what I'm about in the
Yeah.
world as in my own identity, and then being able to, that creates an ability to serve
Yeah.
people that are like-minded and like valued.
Hmm. I love that you're an example too of making it happen right where you live. Like so
Mhm.
many people want to retreat into the online space and keep
Yeah.
a cell phone screen distance away from everybody, but you are making it happen in person.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's where I get energized. I do
Hmm.
have that type of, I've learned more about my extrovert energy. It's a
Hmm.
calmer one now that knows she needs to recharge. But I get so much energy and insight and inspiration by having not only the one-on-one client conversations, but definitely those events are just, they light me up. They fire me up for the next, because that keeps that locomotive running.
Hmm. Yeah. So good. Okay. The last thing that you definitely wanted to talk about was slowing down and honoring your own body of work. And I want to hear what that means to you.
So I started working with Trudy LeBron, and she's stepping into this and helping coaches to do this a little bit. And so that was my first taste of even thinking of myself as a thought leader. I was like,
Hmm.
what?
Who, me?
Who, me? And realizing very quickly I had a lot of ideas about the corporate shifts that people make, or what's going on in corporate, or what goes on for the solo leader that is siloed, or the business owner that has just been nose down. I had a lot of insight on all those facets, and I loved investing, and I'm continuing to invest my time and really doubling down on my body of work. Yes, I bring in different practices. I was trained by certain coaches, but I've integrated it with my life experience and these great bigger ideas that I want to be talking about more. And a
Hmm.
lot of those, it may take flight in a book this summer. I'm going to consider that. It may be more in speaking. It may be, guests on other podcasts. It may be getting the word out about what this type of deeper work can do for leaders.
Yeah.
But studying what you're about and owning it is a huge confidence booster.
Yeah.
And that has, it felt very awkward at first. And
Mhm.
now I know I really, when I'm in a networking situation or I'm being asked, or even asking a question of a panel or whatever, it culminates, it's helped me to have a way to talk about my work that is a different flavor, a different fingerprint, but also can
Hmm.
contribute to the world.
Yeah.
And I really know that, I mean, we're front line helping heal a lot of the brokenness in our world.
Hmm.
And as I re entered being an owner and being in corporate space of my own making, I thought a lot of healing had been done while I was an at home mom. It's not true. And so I
Yeah.
also had that experience to look at. Oh, I thought things had really changed, but deep down, subconsciously, things had not.
Yeah.
And I am here about helping heal those that are have really had to exit things because of some of that harm, but not
Hmm.
rebuild it um,
Right.
when they build it. So
And I think for everybody listening, it's good to note that what you're not saying in your marketing is I'm going to help you heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But it is what's happening.
it is what's happening.
Yeah.
In the end, we're healing. That's my experience. I'm
Mm-hmm.
healing my ways of being that made me think I had to work 55 hours a week
Mm.
to be a great coach or have a
Yeah.
podcast too, like this formulaic way of thinking. And so
Yeah.
I have to, and it still invites itself in.
Mm-hmm.
But the more I drop into what I know I'm really about, and right now, like that was the permission slip I felt like I got from the retreat was maybe the dinners are the only thing you need to be focused, like doing.
Yeah. Like, yeah, quit the
And
podcast,
actually,
have more
yeah, and I had
dinners.
another coach friend tell me, it's like, well, maybe that, like, you don't need a marketing piece to become a speaker on a stage. Your speaking engagements are going to come from the relationships you're building.
Yep.
It's going to be very
Yeah.
organic. Like the five
Right.
women that organically showed up to support my new practicum that I needed to
Yeah.
fulfill. And it's just such a
Yeah.
gift. Yeah.
I love it. The other thing, for those of you thinking like, oh, I need to develop my thought leadership or my intellectual property, you don't have to do it right away. It's probably a waste of time. Like, go coach a bunch of people and see what you really
Yeah.
care about. But then when you do, what I've noticed lately is I have clients who are like, oh, I'm just doing a freebie. I should be done already. And I'm like, no, because you're actually developing your own intellectual property at the same
Right.
time as you're creating this. Some freebies are just a freebie, but sometimes you're like
They're pieces.
extracting yourself at the same time. And it's going to take a little longer. It's going to be a little bit harder to do. So
Yeah.
I appreciate what you said about investing the time to get it out because it doesn't just fall out
It
all the
doesn't.
time.
It
Sometimes
doesn't.
it does, but most of the time it doesn't.
I would say no, that has been, my work has been giving space to mine what is here so that
Yeah.
I can serve well and talk
Yeah.
about my work in a way that makes sure that my offer gets to the people that need it.
Yeah. And I think when you're doing that, that's when you need to be rested. Your house needs
Hmm.
to be clean. Your hips need to
Yes.
be not so tight. Like you need to
Yes.
know your car is not going to break down.
Yeah.
Like that's when being really well supported and cared for is so that you
Absolutely.
can develop that
Yep,
stuff.
it's a nest. It's that
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous. I feel like every coach should be watching their nest of whatever
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that I have done that in my life with the
Mm-hmm.
relationship changes that I've made and all that. Like it really is
Yeah.
a neat picture for me to keep reminding me
Yeah.
what I need.
It's awesome.
It is
Okay.
awesome.
Any last nuggets or an inquiry or a homework assignment that you would share with
Mm.
everybody?
Yeah, I think there's something that came to mind when I think of the people that you're working with that happened for me is amnesia about all the things we bring to the table.
Oh, yeah,
And
totally.
that's what's happened to me in studying my thought leadership. I really owned who I was at Gallup and
Yeah.
who I was as a at-home mom and who like all through all these pieces. And even my divorce is a very informing part of my practice.
Well, and side note, when she was a stay-at-home mom, she was also a Weight Watchers group leader and she was supporting an executive of Gallup, right? So it's
Yes.
like
Yeah,
you were
90%
always
travel. Yeah,
supporting.
exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, that informed living that life informed what we were required as a couple to do to be successful
Mm-hmm.
and like all of that. But I wrote that off. It was like the day I became a coach, it was like it was this blank slate.
So
And
many people do that.
it is so, please don't do that. Please
Yeah.
take in, like, if you're going to do any studying, what's here is what are the biggest learnings that you want to be about from your corporate experience or from your at home experience, from your illness
Mm-hmm.
experience, whatever that coach is bringing to the table? What are like really own your full breadth life experience because that is what people need.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no such thing as from scratch or,
No, there's
yeah,
not zero.
that's always a lie.
It is a lie. It is a
Yeah.
lie that our brain like trying to keep us safe and small. No, I'm
Yeah.
about all in, but in the most gorgeous way of support, that nest.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good homework. So everybody think about that. Where have I cut out
Mm-hmm.
parts of myself and my experience and my story
Yeah.
that is taking away from the powerful way I could be showing up in my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No amnesia. Yeah.
No
Heal the
amnesia.
amnesia.
Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you for being here and for
Oh, this
sharing.
was awesome.
Yeah. It's cool to hear and see like it can always get more powerful. It can always get more
Yeah.
strong. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking that before our retreat, even with the work I was doing around thought leadership, it was like, it's just going to be same thing, different day, same
Mm,
thing, different day. And by investing some time here on that I've done this year, it is revived. Like the engine feels like how it's supposed to. No, it grows to what it grows. But now I feel like I'm really reaping the benefits of all the work I have
yeah.
done. And now it's exciting
Ooh,
in a
that's
in a new,
awesome.
fresh way. So that's cool. Yeah, 10 more
Congratulations.
years. Let's go 10 more
Let's
years.
go.
Yeah.
Ooh, the next 10 years are going to be fun.
Yeah, they are. They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Karen.
much.
Uh, my best to everyone here. I hope they, yeah, can lean into their genius and really own it and support it.
Amen.
Amen.